The time has come. Set the course. Torpedoes locked.
My
Shit fight.
premonitions never fail me.
Starship remains. Planet is devoid. Even the most primitive forms of life, however, the crew has made quite a strange discovery. A mirror lying right in the center of the huge crater. Completely ordinary mirror in a frame, by all appearances, in pristine condition. Take the mirror aboard the ship, destroy it immediately. Take it. The mirror now hangs on a wall in one of the compartments. It looks completely normal, however, only an hour after its arrival, the Voxmaster reports that the shuttle crew that delivered the mirror has disappeared. The people who hung the mirror have also disappeared. Even the guard who wandered into the compartment by mistake and stopped to fix his new non-regulation cravat has vanished without a trace. Blow up the whole compartment with a mirror inside. Dispatch a group of servitors to jettison the mirror. Dispatch a group of servitors to smash the mirrors and in a team with righteous prayers on their lips. Seal the compartment and continue the voyage. Jesus Christ, the fuck is this? Sending a team with righteous prayers on their lips. Team sent to destroy the mirror stop responding the moment they enter the compartment. Dispatch a group of servitors. They stop responding. Dispatch a group of servitors. Demolish. Deciding the half measures were not enough, the Lord Captain gave the order to blow up the compartment. The demolition team carried out the procedure with pinpoint precision, resulting in minimal damage to the rest of the vessel. However, the picked recorder in the servo skull sent to survey the situation showed that the mirror was not damaged in the slightest, and it was now lying in the cavity left by the explosion. Use explosives first, then depressurize the compartment. Is the only way to ensure the cursed mirror is expelled from the ship. Ship tech priest mournfully set to work, beseeching the machine spirit for forgiveness. After a series of targeted explosions and depressurization procedures, they assured the Lord Captain that the mirror was gone, just in case all cavities were filled with blessed coke, and binary hymns were sung for 2 days and nights. There were no further incidents at the ship. What was this with a mirror, man? Fuck is this? What if I say destroy it on the asteroid? Destroy it? The crew blessed the crater, raising a cloud of dust that blocks the auger array, confirming the mirror destruction is impossible for the time being. But it could not have survived such a powerful explosion. Definitely not. It did. Pick the mirror, seal the compartment and continue the voyage. Compartment door was welded shut and all support systems leading to it were sealed off. To this day, the crew tells stories of strange noises coming through the bulkheads, including the voices of their former crewmates begging to be let out. But the bizarre incident stopped and the ship gained its own restricted area and a grim legend. You probably, cause ship ain't done upgrades on a ship and so on, you probably get some passive ability because of this, something, a penalty or I don't know. But right now we can't tell because there is no info about the ship at all. We're gonna destroy this. We'll find out on the full release. Work. Where am I? Muro 79, Krana. Biotic Krana. Let's fucking fight. The end on the left side in Alpha. According to the telemetry, we're in the system of Kiava Gamma. We found Kiava Gamma. And there's only Dargonus after that. And that's it. The Alpha. The main industrial world of one Valancius dynasty. However, Astropods report that attempts to contact Governor Gaprak have been unsuccessful. Lord Captain, a new report. Kiava Gamma is sending a request to exchange data. Should we accept? Yeah. As you command. Lord Captain, interference detected in a compartment walk system. Looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. Scenarios Maleficum Kranach picked report on events on the bridge when entering Kiava Gamma, recorded by Servo Skull. Start of picked recording. The void ship's bridge. Sounds of working cogitators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound, followed by lumens going out. In a dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers in frame cries out. Another falls to her knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of Waxius, shouts can only just be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We lost contact with all modules. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the walk stations are malfunctioning and overloading the system. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones that do make it are distorted beyond interpretation. The Lord Captain gives the order to decipher the incoming Vox transmissions at all costs, continue sending orders from the bridge and request status updates from the other modules. Decipher. Proceed. A team of the decryption experts gets to work. Data tethers are inserted in the sockets as they connect to the cogitators. One of the Vox clerics leans over the console, another is writing something on a piece of parchment. But then she bursts into maniacal laughter and stabs herself in the eye with a steel quill. Another scream, a tech priest, who was mid-prayer, tears himself to pieces with his own making rights. More and more lunatics are mutilating themselves and lunging at others. Portion of picked recording damage after contact with the unknown object. A guard officer shows a rabid servitor away from the Lord Captain as he rushes to help the crew, shouting out orders. Executes one of the lunatics and roars a series of orders to the rest. begins methodically exterminating any who shows signs of madness, executes one of the lunatics and roars a series of orders to the rest. The madman's body falls at a rogue trader's feet, and his commanding voice, magnified by Vox amplifier, carries over all the noise. He orders the crew to master themselves immediately, promising to personally execute anyone who fails to do so. Some of the lunatics quiet down, others try to snap out of it. One pins her hand to a panel with a dagger to stop herself from moving. Another fervently whispers prayers. Some return to cogitators, others lean over the wounded. Shots ring out. Those still on a rampage are executed by the rogue trader himself, as promised. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the on-deck engine seer. He's turned to the Lord Captain from his station. We've been attacked with scrap code, a tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint, and is now running through the ship veins. Omnissiah preserve us. The Voidborn officer appears before the Lord Captain once more. Whatever it's that attacking us, we have a backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there is a terminal for an isolated system that might still be unaffected. A loud pop. The pipes over the officer's head burst, and a blast of hot air flings the Voidborn away from the Lord Captain, his body slamming straight through a cogitator panel. The picked frame spins uncontrollably. The servo skull was jolted by the gust. The picked recorder fogs over, the Vox picking up the crackling of electricity and a death cry. Gas on a bridge. A junior attendant shouts and instantly doubles over, inhaling the poisoned air. The rogue trader gives the order to evacuate immediately. Commands the crew to carry on with their duties until the very last. Runs for his life from the bridge. Gives the order to evacuate. Commands the crew to carry on with their duties until the very last. We do that. Headless to the gas spreading over the deck, the officers continue their flurry of work at other stations, executing orders issued by the Lord Captain. Even when the doors to the bridge are open, the crew carries on for as long as they can. Lest you leave the bridge, the Lord Captain runs out, coughing heavily. The rogue trader takes a few steps down the corridor and breaks into a coughing fit, undoubtedly a result of spending too long on the bridge. Splashes of crimson stain his clothes on the floor, and the Lord Captain shakes his head. The further the rogue trader walks into the atrium, the more unsteadily his footsteps become. The Lord Captain takes a moment to lean against the bulkhead, but then crumples to the floor, coughing up gouts of blood onto his chest. Several people immediately dash to the rogue trader's side. The rogue trader is taken to the Medicaid deck, where he is instantly surrounded by doctors. The crowd is so dense that the servo skull anxiously circles above them, trying to catch a glimpse of the subject of its recording. At last, the Lord Captain opens his eyes, dragged back to the consciousness by a cocktail of medications and biostimulators from several bags. A number of scarred junior officers promptly surround the bed. The ship is suffering devastating losses. The intermodule comms are still offline. The crew is terrified, Lord Captain. Eyes full of terror, bloodied uniforms, slumped shoulders, and these officers are the only link that the Lord Captain currently has to the world outside the Medicaid deck. All he can do to support these people who are willing to risk their lives for the ship is give them an inspiring speech. Reiterate the duty that every Imperial citizen owes to humanity. Offer a matter-of-fact logical analysis that might help them find the best tactic for the situation, conserve his own strength. Give them an inspiring speech. Don't bug now. No. Thank God. The Lord Captain, buried under a mound of catheters, props himself up, taking breaths through a mask now, and then begins to speak of human tenacity, of the trials that the crew have already overcome and those that still lie ahead in their struggle to save the ship. With each word, the people around the bed straighten up and their gazes are filled with awe and faith. The officers salute the Lord Captain and leave the Medicaid deck in complete confidence, ready to do their duty. The Lord Captain spends some time in bed, in the doctor's meticulous care. Out there, somewhere beyond the bulkheads of the blinded and deafened ship, people who have been left without their leader are fighting against an unknown threat. New victims are constantly being brought to the Medicaid deck. The servo skull records medics carrying in a young man, the right side of his body a mess of flesh and bone. Then a young woman with her jaw missing and her ribs barred. As if realizing the pointlessness of his stay here, the Lord Captain demands to be patched up and helped to his feet, return to the bridge. The walk to the bridge is uneventful. The crisis has passed, although wounded and crippled, the ship nevertheless is returning to its normal operation. The bridge resembles a battlefield. The floor is strewn with corpses, the cogitators are damaged, and the people inside are barely standing. Healers in masks are begging up pale corpses, technomats are hastily patching up ruptured pipes, and the surviving officers are trying to get the remaining cogitators back up and running. By the com station, the rogue trader runs into Voxmaster. Praise the Emperor. You're in one piece, Lord Captain. The situation on board is satisfactory. I was just in the middle of setting up com channels. Soon all the Voxcasters will be fully operational. Another man appears in the picked frame, a junior officer completely out of breath carrying a heap of scrolls. The Voxmaster nods at him. Here's the reports. If you find able to return to your station, I can immediately give you a rundown of the state of affairs of the ship. End of picked record. The situation's been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is capable of motion. We may even be able to conduct a warp jump if you feel we should leave the system. Allow me to bring you up to date. The bridge suffered heavy losses. Many of the officers responsible for key systems perished during the attack. The consequences for the vessel are most grievous. Kiava Gamma went silent after transmitting the harmful signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. I'm afraid we have exhausted our options for remote analysis. More information can only be obtained by closing the distance, or even sending an away party to the planet's surface. The time has come to remind you about our agreement, Rogue Trader. I must be present in your entourage during your expedition to Kiava Gamma. I'm counting on your cooperation. The crew is awaiting further instructions. That's one of the outcomes. Now, what happens if I deny that transmission? How often will big patches arrive? On 3 months, 2-3 months, probably. Ignore the transmission as you command. We ignore the transmission as you ordered, but the Vox system has detected a dozen more incoming requests. Their number is growing every second, and each one is becoming more insistent and stronger. I think I hear something. And again, it happens even when you ignore. Same shit happens even when you ignore. There is no running away from this, okay? They're just not. So let's go. We got Kiava Gamma. I think it's gonna be a huge map, because it is the part of the main quest. Plus there's a companion quest on Kiava Gamma too. Good day to you too, Amijan. Axie, good day to you too. How you doing, people? The dwarf planet is marked on the Von Valancia's Trade Empire charts as 8. It serves as backup source of water for the habitable worlds in the neighboring systems. With the abundance of bacteria proliferating in the atal hydrosphere, the extraction of ice was stopped half a century ago. Much to your officer's surprise, the augurs detected an unidentified mining rig deep under the ground. Presumably, the excavation is aimed at extracting clay minerals near the planet core, enriched with iron and other metals. Send a scouting party. Contact the extracticum boy. Contact. The extracticum turns out to be Insignia Corda latest investment, whose demesne is located just within a few jumps from the Cranach system. While this world is of a little value to the von Valancius dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted rogue trader leniency. Magus Pascal knows the unusual composition of Atal's core. The subsequent development will allow the extraction of rare refractory metals. Heeding his advice, the rogue trader decides to keep the extracticum for himself. The rogue trader graciously allows Incendia Corda to pick up the crumbs unworthy of the von Valancius dynasty attention. Destroy the extracticum with a precise shot. The rogue trader orders to behead everyone on the illegal mining rig and send their heads to Incendia Corda with very best wishes. The rogue trader decides to keep the extracticum for himself with all the workers and servitors. We do what Pascal says. Pascal knows it all. Your people easily assume control as the frightened workers and the token security crew do not even attempt to resist. The extracticum machines are restarted shortly after, and they amass containers with precious ore are delivered to your ship cargo. Kiava Gamma. Any other companion quest for Kiava Gamma, by the way? Development project. Heinrichs to Kiava Gamma. Make planet fall on Kiava Gamma and reach Kiava Gamma. Everything is now on Kiava Gamma. Land. Solemn ceremony, no personal meeting with Magi. I fear we're too late and we won't be dealing with clandestine heretics after all. Binary arrays of alarms stream out of Pascal Vox synthesizer. In their neurotic broken rhythm you sense a call to arms and a warning of danger. What's your mission, Kiava Gamma? Ah, the cult of the final dawn. We need to find someone that can tell us what's happening here. If there is anyone left here to speak to. Any suggestions? Let's look around, find out what the arrival rogue trader did not elect. The usual fuss. Okay, it seems like scale of the map is huge. We're gonna be here for a long time. A long time.
Victory awaits!
Servitors. Corrupt. Servitors before you almost appear to be in the middle of performing some elaborate and confusing dance. They in strange poses, they rock back and forth with their hands bent in a peculiar fashion. Upon your approach, one of the servitor jerks, trying to turn in your direction. The rest immediately repeat the motion. The strange scene is complemented by a grating sound. Dull clicks just at the edge of your hearing, coming from an unknown source. Many of the customs of the monkey are terrible, but some are more insane and disgusting than the rest. What do you find so appealing about this custom? You reduced your kin to the level of mechanisms. You love mechanisms, do you not? You strive to make everything empty, cold, convenient. Being a servitor is an honor, Xenos. You wouldn't understand. This is necessary sacrifice for the survival of the entire society. At least servitors have some use, which is more than can be said about the 2/3 of humanity. You're right, servitor production is inhumane. I wish I could put an end to it, but it's not within my power. This is a necessary sacrifice for the survival of the entire society. Your kind is adept at surviving, that much is certain, but I do not believe that what I'm seeing was done purely for the sake of survival. Examine the servitor. Based on a cursory inspection, you conclude that the servitors were designed for precision work on an assembly line, possibly circuit production. The number of high-quality, expensive augments in their bodies greatly exceeds basic standards. The servitor hand moves, it is slowly reaching toward you. Avoid touching it. Strike its hand. Freeze. Strike its hand. The blow breaks off Servitor's arm cleanly at the joint. The arm falls to the floor, but the Servitor does not notice. It pokes the air with its stump, then goes still. Find the source of the repeating clicks. Soon enough you locate the source of the clicking. On the back of one of the servitors, a tumor, oozing with murky ichor, is growing straight through the augments. The relays coated in inflamed tissue are blocked, hence the reason for the persistent clicking. Mutation in a servitor. Tech priests typically reject the use of flawed soft tissue for their constructs. Perhaps something has caused this aggressive growth, and quite recently. Cut away the tumor forming on the spinal cogitate. So shit, I fucking hate it when they fail like this. Let's see what's gonna happen, man. Long loading screen on this map, it's a huge map.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Another weapon skill check failed.
Feel my wrath!
I don't wanna kill them, come on. Come on. Can't succeed at this at all. It needs to be at all 100. I think I can't succeed at all. I need to check once more, but I think it's impossible. Minus 50 on medic. What it needs to be then. This is different rules from Pathfinder.
It's about time.
I'm gonna try it once more, but I think it can work.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Ooh, succeeded finally, without much difficulty. What you rolled? Without much difficulty, you cut the excess flesh from the mechanisms. The liberated relay lets out a rapid burst of clicks, then a spark flashes before your eyes, and something begins to hum deep into the servitor's flesh. Through 24, second lane of Manufactorum. Commencing work. Please, what is your request? Follow your default programming. What are you doing, morons? Are you following me?
New challenge for me.
Cogitator panel, dozens of breakers, button handles, switches, view the log. Study the archives of Cogitator. View the third log data, which is hidden by the... View the first log. Praise be to Omnissiah, whose might and power transforms dead metal to make manifest the holy visions of the machine god. The new protocols received at the synod from the great Fabricator have been executed despite those who shuddered at the thought of the changing a standard procedure. Embolden your hearts, those whose inner weakness breeds errors in personal calculations, for the Fabricator is the conductor of the higher will and the wisest among us. View the second law. Today at the Supreme Assembly, the Fabricator unsealed the vaults of the sacred designs and committed those deemed redundant or heretical to purifying disposal. Today, dozens of standard procedures were lost to be replaced by new ones, which the Fabricator will deliver to those who demonstrate the greatest devotion to serving the truth. Data banks contain no notion of truth. Could there have been, may the all-knowing one, the gracious keeper, forgive me an error in the Fabricator calculations, and he meant to say serving the quest for knowledge, logic. The instrumental terminals have already been replaced and the material delivery systems are being prepared for the divine transformation. The execution of the new procedure has been delayed, for there are some in our ranks who doubt the words of the Fabricator and his votaries. And there are some who are not susceptible to enhancement protocol that carries our tech brethren to enlightenment. May the deliverers of fate be merciful to them. Inaction is death, and I must be returning to our great work. Praise be to the truth that will reveal the path of knowledge shrouded in darkness. View the log. I think they're following us.
None shall stand in
They're
my
gonna
way.
help us in combat. Nice.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Request denied. Registering anomalous behavior within the servant organics and an invalid new sphere response. This unit is compromised. Examine the tech priest. Carefully you study the rope-clad figure. A black hem of necrosis spreads out from around the tech priest's implants. For some reason his body seems to reject the true flesh. A moment later you recognize the dominant smell in the decay of scents permeating the air around the tech priest. The stench of rotten meat. Who are you? Magus Custis of the Machine Sanctum, Tier 2O, identification. Where is the Fabricator? I will only speak with the ones who run this manufactorum. What's happening on this planet? Why is the governor not responding to ship calls? What are heretic ships doing in the system? Denied. Irregularity demands execution of Protocol 3924 in accordance with the Fabricator decree. Won't be executing anything until I meet with the Fabricator. Anticipated process disrupted. Execution of disposal protocol recommended. Tech priest draws his weapon and his robe opens. Your senses are hit by a fetid wave of wrath. Here we go.
Do you dare to look me in the eye?
I will take you down.
Magus, volatile servitors, and Magus heretic.
I won't object to it. For the throne's glory. Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
Come on, servitors, go! Not on him. And the fucking tanky.
not your Xenos pet, monkey. If I must. If it serves your cause. Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak. Targets, not guidance. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Problem for me. Already done.
I understand your intent. If it serves your cause.
Suits my purposes. Nothing I can't do.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
My vow is to serve.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Another fur painted black. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Run the bulwark.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Oh shit.
But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it. For the throne's glory.
your Xenos pet, monkey. If it serves your cause. This tedium is beneath me.
And they will be tough without servitors. They really deal a lot, especially when they're close. What on fucking earth? They explode. And look at the AoE. Holy shit. They fucking chain nuke everyone.
Not a problem to me.
Goddamn maniacs. I leveled up. No injuries, nothing. Thank God it's alpha to this on the hardest difficulty. With injuries, with consumables, and so on. That would be extremely hard. Prerequisites: part machine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scion X. Can you use that? I mean, you should be able to use it. You got the same one with brutal strike, 3 pen, same shit.
Victory awaits.
Let's level up. Level
Is for the
24 now. Intelligence, perception, willpower. We go with willpower.
Remember, innocence proves nothing.
Willpower, fellowship, strength. Strength. Intelligence. Intelligence is one of the best characteristics, stats, attributes, quality you like, because it bloody gives 6 skill checks over here. Plus 5 to everything. It's just crazy good. 10% bonus to dodge. Parry melee attacks. Let's go with dodge. Should be 51 now. It's not. 10% bonus to dodge tests. I guess it doesn't count. Part machine 2 minus 10. Penalty force mechanics. I don't know how they count this. I really need to spend a lot of time checking this shit out. Like I did nothing. Weird. No, I need to accept. It should be 51 when I accept. It's not.
align my path with yours. For now. You interrupted my thoughts.
Bolter, plasma, melta, flame, power. We got laser. Nimble it will. Holy shit, your dodge is 85. Really? I know what gives flat stats, it will not die. So she doesn't get one shot at 51.
I'm restless.
And you are still
I look
bugged,
up
are
with a
you?
feeling of wonder.
Now it's 2
A
levels.
field of
If you're.
flowers was blossoming
Of course you're
nearby.
bugged.
A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging and sobbing.
She's not.
And
When I receive the next level, now I can pick, finally. It will not die. But... What are you doing? Accept? She swallowed an entire level, okay. Yeah, everyone have this. And everyone is level 24, so basically... She swallowed an entire level. But at least it's working.
A new challenge for me?
Servitors go with us. Really? What is this?
It's about time.
I've been playing 4 hours without a break. Short pause. Like 5 minutes or so. I don't even know what I want to do in those 5. I'm gonna go and eat something. 5 minutes. Be right back. Bitches. Let's move on.
None shall stand in my way.
Nej, det är trä. Looking behind. Yay. But what are you doing? Oh. Oh.
Victory awaits! I'll lay claim to the stars.
Burden of failure is the most terrible punishment.
There's huge frame drops on this map. Because there's smoke everywhere.
Should have been accomplished easily.
Ah, you fuck off. God damn it.
We must act.
Watching the lady handle sacred technology breaks my heart, figuratively speaking. My cardiovascular augmentation can
New
stand
challenge
much
for me?
more than high blood pressure.
Need access codes.
It's about time. I'll live another day.
Help me, Lord Captain.
God damn it.
Sharp eye.
This task should have been accomplished easily.
Idiot is there.
Running binary code line.
When the faithful are idle,
Authorized. Quest approved. My vow is to serve.
Speak, Elantark.
The old Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
Victory awaits.
Heavily augmented man in a filthy tethered robe stands before you. His eyes are filled with horror. He nothing to fear from us. Deus Mechanicus. heard my prayers. I thought I was alone in a kingdom of madness and depravity. Please save. Manufactorum Lex Mechanic Zeta 86. Perform the rituals for the machine spirits of Foundry 95. Up until the brothers started going mad. Priests devoted to the Omnissiah suddenly started praising the dawn or something or other. They stuck the belts, and then they desecrated the visages of sacred machines with unholy symbols. Some of them resisted, the others grabbed them, tied them up, and then they turned their implants to heresy. I saw the madman, my former tech brethren, deliberately connect those poor souls to corrupted cogitators. I watched as they were infected with scrap code, and did nothing to stop them. A recording a violation of the commandment of Dynum forged with a true sentinel. Apostate Zeta 86, your excesses are hereby revoked. Proceed with your report. How did you manage to avoid the same fate? I didn't avoid it. They performed the same procedure on me. I felt the touch of unholy code, I allowed it to control me, I abandoned my sacred post and followed one of the traitors, serving his will and gathering all the data for his blasphemous experiments. I was driven by an unholy impulse coming from the depths of my auxiliary cogitate, where the code had lodged itself. Before I found a way to throw up the compulsion, I witnessed horrifying heresy, the extraction of true flesh and its decomposition on altars, perverse procedures that resulted in heretical abominations. I even accompanied the fallen Magus to the Fabricator himself and attended the unholy mass he led personally. It was a wicked ritual full of willful deviations and blatant inaccuracies, all to create an ungodly monster in the name of the final dawn. You don't act like other priests who were infected with corruption. Praise the gifts of the Omnissiah, I managed to disconnect my external cogitator, which I use for primary data processing. The machine is corrupted, the scrap code is locked inside it, like a beast in a cage. Anyone who tries to look inside will fall victim to the heretical program. My primitive brain has been marked by corruption. I still see their silhouettes, hear the interference, I sense the malfunctions in my augmetics. I was still saved from the great sacrifice. Oh, blessed are the workings of the Omnissiah and his benediction that shelters the weak from evil. You see his hand casually straight to the handle of his weapon. Interrogator is in no hurry to act. You mentioned a monster. Is that some kind of a weapon? No. Not those constructs that are melted down in furnaces and sent into the depths of the Manufactorum. It's some kind of semblance of a cogitator, a nightmarish parody of a sacred machine, powered not by Omnissiah's grace, but the unholy spirit and life force of the unfortunates imprisoned on the lower levels. I don't know much except that the Fabricator saw the machine as a special. It was special to him and to the crazies who defiled the Omnissiah abode with their obscene blasphemy. For the final ritual, he even called upon the Astartes heretics who arrived at the Manufactorum after their start of uprisings. He did something terrible, and only after that were they able to switch the machine on. It's a true abomination, even standing near it is unbearable. I believe that even those who have been deprived of the Omnissiah's grace still feel its influence on them. Monstrous power utilized for unholy computations and chaotic calculations. Whatever that cogitator might spew out, at the end of its cycle, no righteous soul should accept its hideous sufferings. How did you crazed brethren behave? Like the grace of the Omnissiah had left them entirely, replacing free thought and progress with blackest corruption. I witnessed them desecrating structures blessed by the Fabricator himself. Though what do the blessings of that rotten traitor count for now? Like men possessed, they set up the sacred instruments and assembled shells and nodes that didn't match any diagram or blueprint I'd ever seen. Sacrilege. You mentioned someone in prison on the lower levels. The lay servants on the main units. They live in isolated segments under the sacred machine halls. They were locked in there after the takeover. Then my crazed brethren changed the system for disposing of slag waste and covered the machines in cursed symbols. After they started the cogitator, they dragged the survivors out of the segments under the machine holes, where the survivors were turned into. They demonstrate exceptional powers of observation and recall for someone who just happened to survive. I'm a Lex mechanic. Gathering data is the purpose of my existence. That's even what they use me for. They use me against my will. The scrap code turns everyone in their slave. Before I rid myself of the cogitator, I was forced to serve alongside those who perpetrated these atrocities and witnessed their obscenities. What do you make of it, Heinrichs? Servant of the Messiah, I must know more about the final dawn, the Fabricator, his mess, and about this machine as well. I could give you the coordinates, but even though I was present for many blasphemies committed by those heretics, all the details that were captured and processed by my true flesh are in the augmenting that was corrupted by the scrap code. I'm convinced that if I hadn't fought off that foreign compulsion in time, I would have been doomed. The corruption would have spread to my biological cogitator as well. I swear that no devout tech priest should come into contact with what's hidden in that one sacred device. Heinrich's expression shifts as he stares intently at the discontenting plant and the still intact connectors protruding from the under Lex mechanic collar. The corner of his mouth twitches involuntarily. Can the cogitator be disconnected and reconnected to another machine? Even the very idea of exposing a holy machine to the scrap code wasn't profane in itself. My augmentics are not universally compatible. They cannot be connected to another machine spirit. They were created to interact with the system of my true flesh, to innervate my compulsory unit and output data via the inscriber. Once I'm safe, I swear that I will immediately perform a cleansing rite and destroy. In other words, there is only one way to extract the data stored on the cogitator. What are you talking about? If we connect the cogitator to the augmetic system, the Lex mechanic will serve as a conduit for transmitting the data. We will learn the details, even if they're incomplete, of the things he saw and heard, but it's now unable to recall. Lex mechanic, who's been listening to your discussion and puzzlement, finally understands what is going to happen to him, and he begins to back away in fear. Anything but that, I'll die. It'll be worse than that, I'll succumb to the corruption. I'm begging you, please, I'd rather be burned as a heretic than have the scrap code in my biological cogitator. At these words, Heinrich pauses for a fraction of a second, almost as he was reconsidering. In failing to offer any resistance against the enemies of the Omnissiah, Unit Zeta 86 lost the grace of his machine rank, and was categorized as a resource of the Manufactorum. The defilement and torment of said resource, if committed to advance the struggle against heresy, will not be deemed a sin or malefication against the living soul. Upon expiry of unit's utility, disposal is recommended. The leaders of the cult would never discuss anything of importance in front of witnesses. Leave the poor men alone. We cannot allow the information to go to waste. One life is a small price to pay for the good of the Imperium. We'll reach the end no matter what. Stop. We need to know where the cogitator is, even if the heretics' conversations are unimportant. I must know why the machine was so valuable to them. I'll tell you. A different augmentic is responsible for my muscle memory. As a data storage tool, I remember where I walked and what I pressed with my fingers. Here are the coordinates and the code. It's probably the code to the bait. He's the subject of your world, rogue trader. It's for you to decide his fate. He'll be taken to my ship after the cleansing rites. A place will be found for him there. He's been tainted by corruption. I cannot allow him in my ship. He can seek out his own path to salvation. The weak deserve only death. Put him on a ship. Excessive kindness, rogue trader, gets good people into trouble. Let's hope that the corruption only affected the disconnected augmetic and not his soul. We need to find his cogitator.
My success is irrefutable.
Regs, stabilizer bracers. Increases ballistic skill flat stat. Now that's something.
State your intention.
Your ballistic is 60. Was I everywhere? I think I was. Set up a ladder. Huge map.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Too hard for a simple monkey.
None shall stand in my way. New challenge for me.
What the fuck is that? Fabricator Cubis Delphim. The massive magus clad in ritual garb. That will be our boss for this planet. Garb lets out the binary thrill and turns to you. From beneath the deep hood of his mental, two dimly lit eye implants gaze at you. You hear another binary tirade, this time clearly addressed at you. What's the matter, poor little tin can? Something wrong with your implants? Forgot how to speak properly? You dare address me in the vile tongue of savages. Me, steward of Kiava Gamma, lord of machine world. Kneel, pathetic spawn, if you seek swift disposal. We propose they kneel, the rogue trader of the Von Valancius line. I'm giving you 5 minutes. No, not to beg forgiveness, to speak your last words and give your final confession. We do that. You're one of the troglodytes who once had the gall to oppress my brothers and resist my will. A messenger from the barbarian who drank the sacred unguents bestowed upon her through others' toil. Very well, your appearance is the perfect opportunity to teach the likes of you a lesson. My name is Cubis Delphim, once held the title of Fabricator of the Kiava Gamma Manufactorum. I rejected it along with other fetters that hinder progress. Once my faith was flawed and led naive fools from the cult mechanicus into darkness of ignorance. Now I'm the world's master and serve the true gods. You tread upon their territory and you're not of the legion of their servants, therefore you must be subject to immediate disposal. As the senior functioning member of the Brotherhood of Mars, I, Magus Explorator Pascal Heinemann, declare this temple to the machine god compromised and forthwith forbid all service within it. I dethrone the Fabricator, the ignorant heretic who has betrayed the Omnissiah, and condemn as anathema any and all standard procedures implemented by him. Let the cycle of the blasphemous operations he has put in motion be broken. Pascal switches to binary speech, and you hear dissonance sprouting in depths of the Forge Cathedral. Some of the giant mechanisms heed his order and go still, while others, obeying the Fabricator's will, continue their work. Crashes, explosions, and the clanging of crumpling metals signify that some dissent among the machines has interrupted the Manufactorum's production cycle. What will happen if you don't have Pascal in your team, man? I guess the map gets twice as hard. Hanuman, liar, you're not him. Demands Hanuman obeys me. His mind is open to the voices of the void, and the scrap code he created protects my world. And you, rusted refuse from the misfit caste of explorators, won't dare to call me ignorant. The statement is false. Your regalia have been revoked. You have been deemed defective and will be eliminated. Initiating the search of heretic designation demands Hanuman. I wish to execute the retribution procedure. What did you do to the governor of Kiava Gamma? The removal of unserviceable artifacts was the first step toward retooling this world. Only my tech brethren heeded the call of truth, reaching out to the cogitators, which allowed them to pierce the veil of empty dogmas. You traded one master for another. I would expect the Fabricator to be smarter than that. I will rip out your spinal column and braid it under my step, you pity creature. I usually prefer talks over fights. This is my world, and it will serve only me. Maybe that. Even a cursory data analysis shows that the probability of this outcome is negligible. You, like your predecessor, are but an artifact of calculation which requires minimal resources to revise. I don't know if I've ever seen a sight more bizarre than a monkey vying with other monkey over who possesses more exorbitant hubris. You may be driven by your will to fight, but know this, Kiava Gamma has already been converted. Its lines have been restructured, its servants have already tasted the fruits of progress. In the crucibles of this manufactorum, torrid liquid metals will be used to forge vessels for sacred spirits. The adepts are already tirelessly delving deeper into new mysteries that were once barred by false tenets. You, servants of fake gods, are too late. The entire might of this world will soon rise up against the anatomy of the slaves. So many open admissions of heresy and so few sentences. Sister, how many death sentences would you say his words warrant? I cannot answer that, Master von Kellox. It is not my duty to measure the heretic's guilt. When the Adepta Sororitas appear before enemies of the Imperium, it's time to fire, not calculate. And now such a time has indeed come. Check the chronometer. Your 5 minutes have passed. I hereby sentence you to death, and I will be the one who carries it out. You know why I like the ranged tin cans like you? When you're killed, you leave behind plenty of useful spare parts. I think I'll make a portable recaf machine out of you. We do that. Brothers, purge the manufactorum of any heretic irregularities. I must prepare for the culmination of our great work. Got the outsiders, let the blood mix with oil. None of the dialogue is 10 out of 10. I started the game and how they capture everything there is about Warhammer was done without a fucking mistake. It's unbelievable, okay? Especially those unique encounters that you can get during the warp travel. I just don't know what's better, man.
Follow my lead.
Screen of this cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolingua. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache.
It's about time.
This ain't normal how big the map is. This is the biggest map I've seen so far in the game, by the way.
Submit, and you'll die.
What the fuck?
Show them no mercy.
Tough cultists. Okay, full bunch. A full fucking bunch. They're about to play first. Fuck. I didn't see them, man. I wouldn't open like this.
Naturally. Not sanctioned to do this. I won't object to it.
Boom! Holy shit.
Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
Just designate a target. If I must. Inferior bird.
Hey. I need to chill with grenades. I don't have unlimited amount of grenades. We're gonna have a boss. And the previous boss I was fighting against, grenades resolved the boss. So I need to kind of win all of those fights without wasting grenades. I have Eldari grenades also, a lot of them. Jesus Christ, this crap.
I'm watching your back. Always. I'll take it from here.
What is it? I am not your Xenos pet, Monkey.
Take a knee and bow before me.
I will take you down. I'll put my psychic abilities to use. Naturally. I won't object to it. But of course, Lord Captain.
If it serves your cause. This tedium is beneath me. If I must.
The road take you.
Okay, we got Logis Heretic up there. I just figured out now. And there's a full fucking bunch of them behind him also. I really don't want to spam grenades. And there's so many.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful. I mean, binary code, right?
I'm done.
What?
Faith without deeds is worthless.
There's the cover.
Doubt is for the weak. I need targets, not targets. I'll do it.
Man, they got snipers also.
Focus, Van Calix. Focus.
That's bad. Very bad. Lodge is heretic again. He dodged.
Never wavered in the face of adversity. All too easy.
For the throne's glory. I won't do that. I won't object to it.
Oh, I got served. Forgot I got served. Until they arrive, I'm gonna finish the fight.
Suits my purposes. Already done. Not a problem for me.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I am not your Xenos.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Explorers know one route. Forward.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. If I may, I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Alas, no.
Not an easy fight.
Let's see to it. But of course. Naturally. Let's see to it.
Unseen.
Frag. I just helped.
As the tactical imperative
It's a lot.
dictates. The Omnissiah knows all. Comprehends all. Running binary override.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
No, not me. Not me.
Nothing.
No, you assholes.
Faith shields me.
Nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes. Nothing I can't do.
I'll do it. is a prayer. I am his will made manifest. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Oh, dear son of a god, what was that?
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. I need targets, not guidance. As the Emperor commands, I act. You, my Emperor! This is unacceptable. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
God damn it.
I'll do it.
56 momentum gain. Oh man, fucking planet.
Forge ahead! All too easy.
Impressions of the game so far. The biggest early alpha I played in my life. The longest and probably the best. And I played a lot.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
If it serves your cause.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
Advancing.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
I won't object to it. But of course, Lord Captain.
So fucking funny with this.
Not sanctioned to do this.
They need to fix the charge. They really need to fix charge.
Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
I understand your intent.
Another Logis heretic up there.
In the cold embrace of
You piece of shit.
deliver us.
All the way from the Argenta did her stuff. She killed everyone on the map. It doesn't matter now. I wish you could hit for fucking once.
My tactics are flawless.
Get up.
Already done. Nowhere to hide.
Emperor, give me strength. If I may.
Everyone, step aside.
If only that were possible. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I need a foothold. Naturally. More trouble than it's worth. I won't object to it. The Inquisitor sends their regards. But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it.
Swift and silent.
You should deserve it.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful.
Nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes.
Get me a target. Alas, no. Not sanctioned to do this. I won't object to it. Naturally. Let's see to it.
I move swiftly to strike. If it serves your cause. This tedium is beneath you. I am not your Xenos pet, Longplay.
Activate calculated fury algorithm.
see how they respond to this. Nothing I can't do.
Throne's glory. I won't object to it.
I can't wait till they add better animations in the game. They have to be better animations because this is like hilarious. It's gonna be so crazy good. If they can make the game smooth with better animations, it's really gonna be funny. Two-handed plasma gun, 7 pen. Not bad.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
In the heart, turn all to decay. I refuse.
I need plasma weapon proficiency if I want to wield this. Fuck. Where are we? Dying tech priest.
Victory awaits.
Look, over there.
Over where?
I won't tolerate weakness.
The burden of failure is the most terrible punishment.
What the fuck it matters?
None shall stand in my way. Follow my lead. Halt! I noticed something.
You notice what and where? Because I don't see shit. Because it's bugged, that's why.
I'm enraged. You'll endure.
Request denied.
I say a little bit of
You are authorized. My vow is to serve.
The Emperor sets my path.
I'm listening. Request approved.
Wow.
A new challenge for me?
We bugged out. Bugged out. Let's restart. I hope it's not important for the story, man. Or for progression, God forbid.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Nice. Pile of human remains carries the dust together amidst a suffocating stench. The torn gothic bodies once belonged to a tech priest, but you cannot spot even a glint of metal anywhere. All their implants are gone. Unexpectedly, it seems that one of the ravaged bodies is still moving weakly. Tortured man lips move ever so slightly. Approach. The man can barely breathe with his respirator implant removed. It's a miracle he survived the horrific vivisection. He takes you a single look at the gaping wounds where the augment was ripped out to realize that is only a matter of time. As you have incensed your presence, the half-dead man looks at you sharply and yells hot air. Machine spirit, deliver me. The binary requiem coming from Pascal Locke's sound solemn and grim. Upon hearing it, the man grimaces weakly, twisting his mutilated face into a semblance of a smile. Who did this to you? My brother's machine spirit has the Omniscience truly abandoned us. Kiava Gamma has fallen into the maw of eternal enemy. Holy Magi, they succumbed to heresy. The rest were stripped of their true flesh to feed the heresy. Preserve us, deliver me from sin. They sacrifice the living blood from the vessels of true flesh, while their heart is still beating after that oblivion. I knew you would come. I waited for so very long. Deliver me from my torment. Such senseless savagery. What a horrible fate to be betrayed by one of those brethren. I attest that the three categorical requirements for assigning the status of martyr of fate are fulfilled: opposing the enemy, preserving the adherence to the dogma, meeting a gruesome death, requesting the right to extract the subject's organic matter for it to be used in the creation of an honorable servo skull. It's an honor. I'm thankful for the right to serve. And the man's suffering go to Omniscience. Pascal, your request is granted. Steel your heart, servant of the Imperium. Your words will help me bring down those who have betrayed Kiava Gamma. Delay the man's death by providing medical assistance. Leave the man to die. Pascal, your request is granted. Turn him into a servo skull. Leaning over a dying man, Pascal, in decisive yet surprisingly respectful motion, cuts his throat. It takes him mere moments using a long scalpel to release the cervical vertebrae from the hold of muscles and sinew and cut the vertebrae, severing the head from the body. Let your service continue, tech brother. The device now able to being used to chop bodies into pieces was once an ordinary full fat.
It's about time.
failed. I wanna see which side is this. What Chaos God is here? Slaanesh? Could be. It doesn't look like Nurgle.
What a shame.
Hey, come on! The marks of chaos seem to draw your eyes, simultaneously instill terror.
None shall stand in my way. Victory awaits.
Melta Ultima, 8 penetration. Melta Scorching AoE. Cast 2 action points. That looks fucking great. And no one can use it, eh?
That is not the Emperor's will.
Melta weapon proficiency required. Only Pascal can use it, but he's melee. You can use it. What? You got Melta weapon proficiency instead of a shotgun. Okay. You'll burn the heretics.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Something is howling within the metal frame, as if the machine spirits of this cogitator are lamenting some irreparable loss. Logic. Your knowledge of the machine spirits is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. You gain access to cogitator systems. The device machine spirit can do nothing to thwart you. Subdued by its defeat, it hides in the bowels of its lair. Awaken the cogitator's machine spirit. You touch the levers and the reels of the control panel and disturb the slumber of the spirits that reside within this cogitator. The machine lingers as if still sleepy, but nevertheless performs its assigned function. What a flying fuck. The cogitator is silent, awaiting new commands.
I'll lay claim
What have I
to
just
the
seen?
stars.
Okay, I could have sneaked in.
Follow my lead.
Go behind. If, of course, they had sneaking in a game. So basically, before the fight, you go through here, you go up there, you pass all the way, you enter, you trigger the trap, and you wipe them all out over here. Plus, that torpedo would also kill them over here. Ah, man. You need sneaking in a game. They detect from far away, it's impossible. Nah, through this door there was a crack in the wall. Step right into it, trigger, and the fight becomes twice easier.
I'll better myself through my service.
Shit. Yeah, XP for athletic souls.
That was a problem for you. What a shame.
New challenge for me.
My reckoning will be swift.
And you are what now? As you approach the cogitator, you notice a number of deep scratches left by huge claws on its metal surfaces. Despite the apparent damage, the machine seems to be in a working condition. View the log. The log contains nothing of interest. Activate the emergency bridge lowering protocol. The machine lingers as if still sleepy. Okay. Step away.
Victory awaits!
Let's see where that leads to.
It's about time. None shall stand
Watch
in
your
my way.
steps. None are better at searching.
Something of interest.
Jesus Christ. Cogitator panel has dozens of breakers, buttons, handles, view the log. Review the supply protocol. At first glance, the records look like a typical shipping report, but after further reading, it becomes apparent that the focus here is not ore or assembly parts, but augments extracted from living tech priests. And spent mass, the flesh of the victims killed either during or for the sake of the machine rituals. Review the production. The log looks damaged, the lines are uneven, and some of the values seem impossible. After a few minutes of studying the records, you feel your head begin to swim. The stored data can only be comprehended by a twisted mind touched by chaos and corruption. Ascension Protocol. This record looks like a sermon of some mad chaos worshipper. The log, clearly written from someone else's words, mentions the heart that executes virtue, and the cradle that drugs the child of truth.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Let us see what I found.
It's a lot of traps.
New challenge for me?
This task should have been accomplished easily.
Fail more.
Never doubt me. I failed.
Okay, if you did 4 traps, 1 success.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
System accepts the access codes. And the door is open.
It's
But
about
first,
time.
what's this? Nah, it's gonna rotate. Okay, okay.
Victory awaits.
huge map.
I won't tolerate weakness.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
A new challenge for me?
Join me in prayer. I need targets, not guidance. Blessed be the road that we take.
Follow my lead!
Device the cargo left used for transporting parts.
The burden of failure is the most
Worse.
terrible punishment.
It's about time.
Access codes you do not have.
I'll lay claim to the stars. None shall stand in my way.
How big is this fucking map? The desecrated altar of the Omnissiah. The purity seals have been torn off. Data slates with sacred codes shattered. Some of the teeth on the gear adornment broken off.
Victory awaits!